Good morning, students. Hope you're all doing fine. Today we will have a new tutorial in the theme of Human Rights, Unit 7. Our objective will be to review some of the reading skills to be able to answer organization questions correctly. Let us start by reviewing the thesis statement. In an academic writing, a thesis statement should have the topic of the writing and the controlling idea, which are related to the main ideas. It is a sentence that identifies or provides the main idea and the central purpose of a text. This means it is the idea that the rest of the paper will support or talk about. In order to locate or to develop or write a successful or the correct thesis statement, we need to remember that this statement provides readers with the main claim of the paper. It also tells the reader what the paper will be about. It makes a claim that others may either agree or disagree with. This means it presents an opinion. It is also a statement rather than a question. It is written in your own words, and it is not taken from any source or quoted from any resource. Generally, it appears at the end of your introduction.
Hi. So for this lesson, our goal is going to be supporting your thinking using textual evidence when you read. In order to prepare for this lesson and future lessons, there are 3 vocabulary words that you are responsible for knowing. The first is explicit. Explicit means directly stated. If something is stated explicitly, it is clear, it is obvious. The opposite of that is implicit. Implicit means that something written down is not directly stated. However, when an author writes implicitly, clues are given so that the reader can figure out what the author is trying to say. When an author writes implicitly, the reader has to draw inferences. And an inference is the act or process of using clues or evidence to draw a conclusion.
After watching the video about explicit and implicit thesis statement, let us look at the 2 examples in front of us to identify which statement is explicitly stated and which one is implicitly stated. Example 1. Informal discussions and sharing of ideas between staff, teachers, and teaching assistants were useful but insufficient to promote consistency of approach and better progression. What is being implied in this sentence? What is implied is that there is value in informal discussions, but these needed to take place more often if they are to help to properly maintain consistency of approach and progression among the pupils. So what can we say about the example 1? We can say that the main idea that the writer wants to convey is not directly stated in this thesis statement. What the writer wants is that the reader thinks about the idea presented and can conclude and infer what is given as the main idea. Example number 2. George did not like dogs and had never owned one. Here the thesis statement is explicit. This means it is directly stated as the main idea is clear and the reader is perfectly clear about George's position on dogs. Let's move on to the next skill and review the question we have. How does the writer link paragraph 2 to paragraph 1? When the question is asking about the link between 2 paragraphs, this means the question is about cohesion or cohesive device. This means the question could be asked as link, cohesion, or cohesive device, and they all refer to the same concept. How are we supposed to answer such a question? If we're asked to see how a paragraph is linked to another one, we are supposed to look at the second paragraph given and see how it is linked to the first one. In order to find the link, we need to look at the beginning of the next paragraph and the end of the first paragraph. The cohesive device could be direct or indirect. Let's review what are some direct cohesive devices and some indirect cohesive devices. Direct cohesive devices are usually transitional signals that can have different meanings such as addition, contrast, comparison, reason, cause, effect, consequence, etc. Indirect cohesive devices could be the repetition of keywords, pronoun reference, substitution, synonyms, antonyms, and tense consistency. Let's keep in mind that we usually look at the beginning of the second paragraph and the end of the first paragraph and see which of these devices are found to link these two paragraphs together. When the question is about thematic relation, it is important to remember that we need to check the ideas of the two paragraphs and how these two paragraphs are related with respect to their content. In order to answer a question about thematic relation, it is important that we go through the 3 steps that are given in front of us. 1. Read each paragraph and identify the main idea of each paragraph separately. 2nd, look for linking words, usually at the beginning of paragraph 4, and connect paragraph 4 to paragraph 3, as the question is about the thematic relation between paragraphs 3 and 4. This means we're looking at the beginning of the second paragraph and the end of the first paragraph. 3rd, think of the relation of the ideas and the content between these two paragraphs. After we do these 3 steps, then we can move on to choose one of the thematic relations we already know, which are also given in front of us. So is the thematic relation between these two paragraphs cause and effect, comparison, contrast, problem and solution, statement of support or illustration, addition? Remember the difference between 5 and 6. If the thematic relation is a statement of support, this means the two paragraphs talk about the same idea with more elaboration and explanation, while addition is when one paragraph is adding a new idea to the previous paragraph talking about the same topic. Therefore, we can say that the thematic relation between paragraphs is related to how these two paragraphs are related with respect to content and ideas. When it comes to a question about pattern of organization, remember that this question is about one paragraph alone. So if the question is what is the pattern of organization of paragraph 7, what should we look for and think of? Pattern of organization of a paragraph is related to how the writer structures or organizes the ideas in one paragraph. It is the relationship between supporting details in a paragraph. The pattern of organization could be chronological order, cause and effect, comparison, contrast, exemplification, listing, definition, problem and solution. Your assignment is page 168, part F, organization questions related to the skills we just reviewed in this video. Your writing assignment is on pages 159 and 160, part H. The due date for submitting your assignments will be Thursday, May 14, 2020. Thank you and hope to see you soon.